course, went to Queen's University and walked the grounds there, and people were very open and welcoming to us when we were there the first day. So I think that was my overwhelming sense, was of a welcome that very much reminded me of kind of the welcome that Halifax is known for. There's a lot of similarities there between the openness and the warmth that you received.
We went for 10 days, so prior to going we received some training on conflict resolution, but while we were there it was a bit of a whirlwind. We visited 5 schools over the 10-day period. The majority of them were in and around the Belfast area.
Sometimes people think of it as a disagreement or maybe an argument. Sometimes conflict can even mean fighting to some people.
Every year we'd look at a specific issue and then try to give the children skills that they could use based on those. So one year it could be effective communication, one year it could be anti-bullying strategies. So it really depended on the year that you were going.
I think there's a lot of build-up to our arrival, and there are a lot of discussions. So I think the important thing is to have that discussion and start that discussion with the children, and those are the types of conversations they can then bring home into their residence and start to continue those discussions. So I think it's more of a trigger. It's not going to solve every issue going in to visit children for half an hour, a few hours on a given day, but as long as it starts that dialogue, then I think that's the important component. And the fact that St. Mary's is continuing to go there on an annual basis, so it's an investment that we've put into those children and into those schools.
The children remember us, they remember the Canadians and the activities that we've done, and some of the teachers have even tried to reuse the activities that we do or expand upon them.
It was interesting to meet the children and hear about their stories and to hear how this conflict or these troubles have impacted them and their families for generations, but yet to hear how receptive they were to peace and how accepting they were of one another. The biggest thing was to actually see some of the areas and to actually see the wall. It was such a large towering object between the two sides of Belfast. To see that in all the barbed wire, you could see pictures, but to actually see it in person, the height of it, in the schools as well, a lot of the barbed wire and structures around them, it was quite intimidating when you compare it to a school that you would see in Halifax. So that was kind of jaw-dropping.
For anyone at any age to kind of reflect on how they interact with others is a positive thing, so I think we made a change or an impact in that regard. But I think that the real potential for the program here is for the preparatory work before you go to Belfast. When I went, we did sessions at the Oxford School, and I think that working in your own community before you go, you learn yourself, but you can also make a bigger impact that way as well.
I think they do learn something. I mean, we obviously learn a lot ourselves from the kids, so the learning's a two-way street.
The skills that we learn even from the training that we receive from Peaceful Schools International come into play every day in my job.
In international activities, part of my role there is to expand this project, and we're looking to replicate this whole initiative working in India.
Being at SMU opened up a lot of opportunities for me and learned a lot while I was here, and I definitely changed profoundly.
This program has allowed me to push my limits, allowed me to see that leaders don't necessarily have to be the loud center of attention. There can be quiet leaders as well.
I tell everyone who is contemplating going to St. Mary's about the program. I think that it's an amazing program. It's a huge commitment on your behalf, so you need to be willing to make that commitment. But I think that if you have the commitment to it and you're willing to put the time into it, it could change your life.